sorry.
And you got, and does anybody have any questions?
No questions for me.
Nope.
No.
All right. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate the blessed union between these two beautiful future spouses in matrimony. This is the single highest commitment that two human beings can possibly make to each other. It is not something ever to be entered into lightly. Indeed, you are not just joining your lives together as spouse and spouse, but the lives of your entire families as well. Thus, if there's any person here who has any reason whatsoever to believe why these two people should not be joined together in matrimony, please speak now or forever hold your peace. Nobody. Very good. All right. Anyway, well, that's good. Those have to object before it gets really close. Right. You might both turn and embrace the hands. There you go. You can come a little bit closer. You don't have to be quite so far away. I'm not going to just get up this way just a little bit. There you go. I'm not going to bite over it. And do you take this beautiful bride Marisa, to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part.
Yes.
Very good. And likewise, Marisa, do you take Soma to be your lawfully wedded spouse, to have and to hold, for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part?
I do.
Very good. Do we have the rings?
I do.
Perfect. All right. Now the rings, as you both know, form the shape of a circle, and apart from being a whole lot easier to wear on your left ring fingers for the rest of your lives, they also form the unbroken circle of love that two human beings, especially those just like you, who are getting married today, shall have for each other. If you kindly enter a place the ring onto Marisa's left ring finger. It's a beautiful ring, but not as pretty as you are. And embrace in hands and look right into her gorgeous eyes, please, and repeat after me. With this ring.
With this ring?
No.
With this ring.
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
I Soma.
I Soma.
Take thee Marisa.
Take Marisa.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
To be my lovely wedded wife.
I promise to always love you.
Promise to always love you.
To always honor you.
To always honor you.
To always respect you.
To always respect you.
To always listen to you.
To always listen to you.
To always be patient with you.
To always be patient with you.
And to always be your best friend.
And to always be your best friend.
And lawfully wedded spouse.
And lovely wedded spouse.
Very good. And likewise, Marisa, if you could do the same thing, place the ring onto someone's left ring finger. We do have extra super glue in the back if you want. That's what my wife did to me. I've been trying to get it off for years. It's like, ha, now you're stuck with me. Press hands, look right into someone's eyes, and repeat after me. With this ring.
With this ring.
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
I Marisa.
I Marisa.
Take thee Soma.
Take thee Soma.
To be my lawfully wedded spouse.
To be my lawfully wedded spouse.
I promise to always love you.
I promise to always love you.
To always honor you.
To always honor you.
To always respect you.
To always respect you.
To always listen to you.
To always listen to you.
To always be patient with you.
To always be patient with you.
She may struggle a little bit. I can tell. And to always be your best friend.
And to always be your best friend.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And lawfully wedded spouse.
And lawfully wedded spouse.
Very good. Now, Soma, and Marisa, I can tell you something. In a marriage, you can be one of two things. You can be right or you can be married. But you cannot and will not ever be both right and married at the same time. And if you don't believe me, just ask my wife or anybody here who has ever been married for very long. They can tell you that it's the truth. Spouses, put each other first. Let the small stuff go. Put your egos aside. 99.9% of it, it's all small stuff. There are so many things that you can choose to bicker, argue, and nitpick and fight about. Sure, 1,001 things in a day if you try. Some people say that today, the day that you get married, is the best and most difficult part of ever getting married. And that's partially true. There's the time, the license, the cost, getting everybody here, but it's also a relatively beautiful day for December. You have wonderful family and friends here to love and support you, beautiful clothes. But the truly best and most difficult part of ever getting married, it's not today. It's the day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year of crossing that bridge together. When the going gets tough, and I promise you, sometimes you'll get very tough. The tough don't simply get going, no, they sit back down together. They listen to each other. Even when all they feel like doing is talking, or perhaps sometimes not talking. They compromise even when they only want their own way, because you're not always going to get your own way. And they work it out. If you can do these things, you can and will look back many years from now and have had a very happy and successful and fulfilling marriage. Can and will you both do these things? I have just last few quick pieces of advice. I promise to keep it short. You are both still very young, but I tell this even to couples in their 80s and 90s and 100s. I've been doing this for many, many years. I've had plenty of those couples too. There come times in your lives when you both encounter obstacles, problems, difficulties that are too great, too big, too troublesome to solve on your own or together as a couple. Don't worry. Every single couple goes through this at least once and usually many times over their lives. Never ever hesitate to go find an outside objective ear, a minister or licensed counselor, somebody not involved in the situation who's had the training, the education, and the experience to help you to work through these things together successfully, because it can be done. Some people say that seeking help and you need it's a sign of weakness. No, on the contrary, seeking help and you need it, as sometimes all of us do, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a definite sign of wisdom and maturity. Also, watch your finances. The number one thing on average, the couples fight about, it's about money. If you haven't already done so, and you may have, but if you haven't, put at least 6 months to a year or more of your salaries in the bank for an emergency, because you never know when that could happen. COVID-19, perfect example. A lot of people lost their jobs. Also, you're both still very young right now, but guess what? One day, none of us will be. So if you haven't already done so, and you may have, but if you haven't, start saving toward retirement as soon as you can, because it's going to be especially harder for each younger generation to have that like the older generations have had. And time is your best asset. Also, watch your social media, watch your acquaintances, watch your work colleagues. There are so many people out there that could care less than zero about your marriage. They're just thinking about 1 or 2 very temporary things that never, ever last. And go on a date night at least once a week. I know things can get so busy with work, school, hobbies, family, friends, travel, kids, all that too. But if you don't both take that time just for the two of you, nobody else, doing something that you both enjoy, even if it's just Netflix and dinner on the couch, World of Warcraft, whatever you both enjoy doing, dinner and a movie, it doesn't even have to cost you anything. But if you don't do this, I've seen so many couples start here close together, 5, 10, 15 years later, they're completely opposite directions because they never spend time with each other. And lastly, there's a very old saying, and this applies equally to both of you. And any couple that's ever been married for very long can tell you that it's true. Happy spouse, happy house. Therefore, you do say or think a single thought, and you ask yourself, will this make my beautiful spouse happy? And if the answer is no, don't do it. It is not worth it. Now, I checked both of my cell phones just before we started. There's been no phone call, no text message, no pardon from the governor or the president. It's your last chance to back out. Do you both wish to proceed?
Yes.
Well, then, by the power that's invested in me by the state of Oklahoma, it is my honor, my duty, and indeed my great privilege to officially pronounce you as beautiful spouse. Beautiful spouse. Do you want me to have a kiss? Yay! And I present to you the happily married couple.
Yay!
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 A little more exciting, aren't we?
Look, I'm tired.
Should I?
They woke up early.
Soma, turn around for your mom.
Should I stop recording now?
Yeah,
Okay.